Welcome back to Voice Matters Thursday Live. Today's topic is 3 sneaky ways we hide. If, like me, you're a visionary on a mission, you love serving others. You love watching other people transform and seeing and feeling the world changing for the better. That also might mean that, like me, you might have a love-hate relationship with being seen. You might not even understand why you would ever need to be seen in order to do your soul's work. Here's one question. If your people, your peeps, your tribe, your soulmate clients, if those people can't see you, how will they ever find you in order to join you? So let's get to the 3 sneaky ways that we hide. The first is we don't share our story. We might do a lot of writing in blogs and a lot of talking in networking meetings about our clients' big breakthroughs, but we keep ourselves and our stories hidden, which means that they're not getting to know us. Our tribe can't find us. It's like there's static all around or fog, and we're not shining our light through the fog by sharing our hearts and our stories. Second, the second way that we might hide is we might share our story, but do it kind of in a dry, just the facts kind of a way, which means we're still hiding the juicy, dark details, mostly juicy, but sometimes the ones we tend to hide are full of the struggles. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you right now. Here we go. So this is a story arc. It comes from theater. So in every play or every movie, there is a beginning stasis, an equilibrium of sorts, or a status quo. What is life like before the story really starts to take off? Then there's a disorienting event. In The Wizard of Oz, it's really obvious. The disorienting event is a tornado that literally turns Dorothy's world upside down and sideways. Then, during the course of the story or the movie, there are a series of conflicts and complications. Dorothy encounters a lot of those with the Tin Man and the lion, and she's facing down the witch, all building to a climax. In The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy meets the man behind the curtain, which is kind of the biggest trial, and then actually realizes that she has had the power to go home. She has had the ruby slippers all along. So there is a new stasis, a new equilibrium where she goes back to her world knowing that she's got the ruby slippers. The power is within herself. Now I'm going to go ahead and share again. Let me stop the screen and share what we often do when we are hiding. When we're hiding, what we do instead is we have a really long stasis. What was life like before the change, before our own transformation and journey began? Lots and lots of plot about what that was like. Then we might say the disorienting event. Then a tornado came along. Then we make the conflict super short and fast because we don't want to be seen in that messy transformation, juicy details. We want to hide our hearts and we want to get to the climax where we discovered that we had the ruby slippers all along. And then we came back to Kansas and the world was different and it was so much better. Let me go ahead and share an example that's not the Wizard of Oz of how that version might go. I might share, this is my dry, hardly any details version. I have had a love-hate relationship with being seen for my whole entire life. I'm going to actually keep this a little shorter than I might. And then one day I had a powerful experience in an acting class, and I allowed myself to be seen. And now I help other people, visionaries on a mission, to open their hearts, stand in their power, speak their truth, and be seen as well. Interesting. Some of my tribe mates out there might be thinking a little bit of, hey, me too, me too. And it's not as interesting as it could be. A fuller version might go something like this. When I was 7 years old, my mother found me acting by myself in the backyard. I had been playing the Brady Bunch with my friends, and they all went off to do other things like swimming or bike riding, and I wanted to finish the story. At that point, my mother immediately took me to an acting class. And in the world of theater, I found a tribe of people who loved to be creative, who loved to hold a mirror up to life. And we knew at our best how to be present with each other, deeply, intimately present in a way that most of the world was not. Fast forward 20 years, and I was working as an executive assistant during the day while doing theater at night and working way too much overall. And I found myself in an acting class. And we were doing an exercise in the acting class where the entire class was focused on me. Normally, there were two of you up there working on your things that were compatible. On this day, the whole room was focused on me. And I kept trying to pull myself back together and be fine when, as a sensitive person and an empath, I was actually on the verge of tears for much of it. I was feeling a lot of emotion. And Richard stopped the exercise and said, "Stop trying to pull yourself back together. Just be where you are." And I said, "I'm not that comfortable having everyone's eyes on me." And he looked at me and he said, "Well, then you've picked a strange set of careers for yourself. You're an actor and a teacher and a speaker. Part of you wants this." And part of me did. I knew that I was meant to be seen for something greater than myself, for the sake of a mission, a vision, my soul's calling. So I trusted him. I removed my emotional mask. I let go of my energetic armor, and I continued the exercise, crying in one moment, laughing hysterically in the next moment. It was like layers of protection were melting away. And by the end of the exercise, I looked out at my classmates with no character mask, just me. And I felt like I could see and feel their souls shining through their bodies. I could tell what kind of day they had been having. It was a moment of oneness. And now I help other people to release their energetic armor, to remove their emotional masks, and to be seen for the sake of their soul's calling. That I was still kind of trying to go faster because I like to keep these 5 to 10 minutes. And it was a much more fleshed out version of my story. You learned a lot more about me. And the other key thing to remember for a lot of us visionaries is that I'm not really the hero of my story. My soul tribe are the heroes of my story. When I share it, they put themselves in my shoes. The third sneaky way that we hide is that we share the story, but we hold back our body, our breath, our energy, and our voice as we do. So we might not breathe. All of a sudden, we start to sound like this version of ourselves. Hi, I'm Lori Smith, and once upon a time, I was in the backyard playing Cindy Brady with my friends. That's very different than having breath and sharing myself physically and energetically. If this speaks to you, follow the link in this post and go download your free Visionary Souls Guide to Authentic Speaking. It's got some more tips for you to learn how to unleash your presence and express your vision when it matters most. You'll also get signed up to get other tidbits and reflections and notifications of free play shops as they happen. Thank you so much. I will see you back here next week for another Voice Matters Live. Bye-bye.